You've arrived at the Texas to Tennessee podcast, your home for your favorite independent artists and a couple of guys you've never heard of.
Who?
It was Texas, it was Tennessee. It was what I had coming to me. You were unlike anything.
Yay!
Hey.
Well,
what's up?
welcome.
Hi.
Well, welcome to the Texas to Tennessee podcast. I am hosting my first official guest all by my lonesome over here, Mr. Jake Stringer, or Jacob
What's
Stringer, according to his name tag today.
Oh, no. They use my government name.
Hold on. I got you. We're going to change it. There we go.
Okay.
Jake Stringer. There we go. It's better than Jake Stringler or whatever
That's better.
were rolling by there.
I was never much of a Jacob. I really don't feel like.
Yeah, it feels incorrect entirely.
Yeah.
We were just talking to you, saying it's pretty cold out there in the Ozarks. He's our Ozarks boy. So I figure they always start out, Chris, when they do Soul Gravy, when he does it, he always starts out with a question about pie, which is not like the edible kind, but he always asks, as an artist, there's kind of, multiple parts to that, right? So your artist and your music is part of it. And then there's another part that's the business end. And then there's another part that's kind of the social media end and marketing yourself. And the question is always, where's home for you? Is it more of the art and the making of the art? Do you dive into the business side, or do you care at all about socials, or have you been learning about that? Where do you sit in the pie?
If you asked me like a year ago, I would probably tell you, oh, it's pretty equal. But at this point, I've gotten to this place where I really just want to create, and that's all I want to do. I've spent a lot of time selling myself, because that's what you have to do. And selling yourself as the actual person that you've been your entire life is really weird. So I'm taking that piece of pie, and I'm gonna kind of I'm gonna give it to somebody. And try to get back to just creating, because that's the fun part. That's the part that I fell in love with. So
Yeah, that's how we met. Jake and I go way back. We met at the Camp Out Festival in his neck of the woods out there in Missouri. Well, I don't even know how many years ago now. I don't want to
probably
think
5
about
or
it.
6. Every time I think about something that I'm like, oh, that was 3 years ago, I look and it's like, that was 6 years ago. Wow. Okay. This isn't
Yeah, time
working
is
for
really
me.
getting away from us, isn't it? But
Dude.
since then, you put out a bunch more stuff. So was it the last song you put out was that Damn It cover, or did you have another one after that?
I think I had a couple more. Let's see. We did a few covers last year. We did The Bullfighter by Luke Bell.
Oh, yeah.
And then we did Kansas City by the New Basement Tapes. That was kind of our theme for the year, was just putting out some songs that we just wanted to do. So coming back this year with some new original stuff.
Yeah, you cooking this year?
We've cooked. We might be overcooking it a little bit. I'm not sure, but yeah, we've got a bunch of stuff recorded right now. We've got a bunch of stuff that's almost done, and I've just kind of been sitting on it. I've been kind of just letting everything marinate a little bit. I don't want to rush anything. I don't want to jump into it. I felt for a long time like we just had to keep on pumping stuff out, and I've tried to just forget about all that stuff and just do it the way that I want to do it. It's hard.
Yeah, I love that. That's exciting. You have new stuff. It's a process, as an artist, I get that part of it, where the process from actually having a song that you really love and want to share to having it done and able to share is a real long process, and a lot of time and effort and money and a million other things that go into it. So that's pretty exciting to hear you got a couple in the chamber.
We've got quite a few. I'm excited about it. So we're just kind of still working on release plans for all of it. I don't know if we're gonna do a couple EPs, a bunch of singles, do a full length. We haven't really decided what we're going to do there. So um, I'll probably just wake up one day and I'll know. But till then,
That's the best way. Hey, that'll definitely be getting down to your creative roots right there. That's half of it too, is just designing all that stuff and piecing all those things together.
yeah, there's a lot to it. I mean, yeah, you have to come up with so much just to put a song out there. It's crazy. And
Yeah.
it seems like there's more and more that you have to do every time you do it. Um, but it's fun to see what it does. It's just like planting a seed. Like you don't know what it's going to do, but you just try to take care of it the best you can, and then hope that something sprouts, and then you can keep it alive.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a really good way
Yeah.
to put it. That's a good way to put it. So we're to be determined on how all those pieces fall together. But do you have? I've seen you. I know you've been stomping over there, pretty regularly over there in Missouri. Do you have any other exciting things coming down the pike, or places you want to be, maybe, or any like festivals you got your eye on? You want to shoot your shot while you're out here?
Shoot my shot.
Yeah.
I see all that stuff. I see all these festivals, and the fun thing is that they usually start announcing their lineups like 12 years in advance. So I'm probably going to make it on a few of them in a few years. I've got some emails out and stuff like that. Um, but yeah, I mean, we've got some stuff that we're working on. I've honestly been taking it pretty easy. Like we worked really hard the last few years, and we burned up the road. And I think I for sure needed kind of a reset. Um, I was doing a ton of solo shows, as many band shows and band runs as we could do. Um, so right now, like, I'm gonna be at Bucks in Venice, Nebraska with our buddy Dano Simpson, and
Ah, Dano.
I'm pretty sure I probably shouldn't say this, but I'm pretty sure that
Oh, tell us.
Forrest McCurran is on it too. Um,
Ooh.
so it's gonna be a lot of fun. I think I can say that. I hope. Uh, I'll ask, but who cares?
Listen, all's
Does
fair
anybody?
in
I'm
love.
not trying to follow the rules. I'm not
Yeah,
trying
why
to
start
follow the
now?
rules. Yeah. But yeah, just working on. I'm trying to do a lot more like opening act stuff this year. We kind of reset the whole way that we're doing this because we spent a few years working really hard in what feels like the right direction, but sometimes you can realize like, hey, I think we should take a step back, and it'll actually allow us to take a bigger step forward. Sometimes you just kind of start to fall into a rut, and you're like, you know what? I don't like the way this rut's going. I'm gonna try to go over here. So, um, yeah, you got to stay out of the mud, basically.
Yeah. There's a lot to be learned in the mud, but it's not a cool place to stick around for too. Well, maybe it is. I guess everyone's got their own journey.
It depends on your tires. You know,
That is true.
if you don't have if you don't have good tires, don't get in the mud. And I honestly, right now, I'm wearing Hey Dudes, so I do not need to be in the mud. I need to be over here on the sidewalk, where I'm safe. But
Perfect.
yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, that is a lost art. It feels like I think that's the thing with artistry is you're the engine, you're the vehicle, you're all four tires, and you're the person that
Hmm.
pushes when something's not going right. But there's definitely an art in just not putting it in drive for a little bit and hanging out and
Yeah,
just where you're at.
that's it's the hardest part sometimes because you just feel like you gotta go somewhere, right? You gotta keep moving forward. And honestly, sometimes it's better to just sit and wait and like look out the window and just kind of maybe listen to whatever's on the radio, and then put it back in drive in a minute and see if you can get out. But this is getting really deep in in the metaphors.
Yeah. Didn't you just get a new van too, I want to say, or a new touring vehicle?
I did. I bought another kind of older Chevy van. It's got a
Love it.
TV in it. I haven't turned the TV on yet. I'm sure somebody has, but I don't ever ride in the back. I'm always in the front. So, um, but yeah, it's fun. I've still got my old Dodge van that I've been putting around in for years. I love that thing. I can't seem to get rid of it. It's not the best van in the world, but it's an extension of me at this point. So, I like it. I've got too many vehicles right now anyway, so
You still got that Suburban you locked your keys in at the Camp Out Fest that one
I
year?
do. I also still have the mic stand that I used to reach through the sunroof and hit the button. Got them
That
both
was
still.
rocking.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I was
I
surprised how
remember
much my
that.
arm hurt after that because it was like in the sunroof. Dang, that really tore me up. Yeah.
It was like you guys looped around as if to say goodbye to everybody, and you guys just hopped out and then didn't
Yeah,
leave.
we weren't going nowhere. Yeah.
I feel like
Uh
I woke up to you guys shuffling around like raccoons looking for snacks. You're like like what are you guys still
yeah.
doing here? You're like, well, yeah, long story.
Yeah, Chris Stewart always has this story he likes to tell about how he thought that I had just disappeared and that I was gone to bed or whatever, and then they're hanging out, and then all of a sudden he's like, I see these headlights coming over the hill, and I'm like, who is that? It's like 3 in the morning, and then it's like, oh, it's Jake. Me and my guitar players get out, and we're just like, hey, we finally got it figured out. I know we were just right over there, 100 yards away for the last 2 hours trying to break into my car. So
No, it happens. Was that a Chevy? That was a Suburban, wasn't it?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I think I locked the keys in it at Tipsy Taco one night too, and the cops had to come open it up for me. So
Perfect. It's very
yeah,
validating. I've definitely done that a time or two. But I will say, of all the vehicles, I had a Chevy also that I kept locking the keys in and
yeah,
still do. But they're not the worst to break into,
yeah. They're
relatively
not
speaking.
terrible. I mean, I had to break into that Suburban so many times that like the wind howls through the door because it's all messed up, and I don't even think the door closes all the way. But there was something about that caused me to lock the keys in that thing so often. Like I don't know what it was, but it seemed like I locked my keys in that thing so many times. Um,
Yeah.
and I had somebody like a year ago. I was pulling the trailer back from KC, and I had somebody flashing their lights at me, and I had a low tire, so I pulled into a gas station and get out, and I'm like, okay, well, I can get some air in that, see if I can put a plug in it, and I go to look for my plug kit, and I had also locked my keys in the truck. Um, so I had to call
Duh.
I had to call the locksmith and wait just so that I could air up my flat tire and try to get back on the road. It was stupid.
Yeah. I feel like this is the real
Yeah.
side of touring right here. You're hearing the real stuff.
Yeah, yeah. Nobody. They're always talking about when they, blow a tire out or, something catches on fire. No, like, be
Mm-hmm.
real. How many times have you locked your keys in your car? Yeah.
I'm gonna add that to the questions of things I ask to everybody. It's like
Yeah. How
if
many
you've done
times?
any touring, you've done it more than once. You just have so
Be
many things on
honest.
your mind when you're out there.
You do.
But
It's crazy. Like, I feel like I'm a totally different person on the road because like I have so many things going on that I don't look at my phone. I don't like I just kind of I almost disappear for a few days while I'm on the road. It's kind of weird. Like it's like a little switch goes off in me. But
what's your go-to move on the road? I feel like I'm just like I'm kind of the same. I just like kind of hibernate with myself, but also I always think I'm doing something with my music, like who I'm listening to. I'm always on a mission. I'm like, I'm gonna listen to this whole album, or I'll
yeah.
listen to the New Music Fridays and just like judge everybody the whole time I'm going somewhere. Do you have any go-to moves when you're rolling?
I mean on that front, like the whole release radar thing is usually pretty good for a Friday. I listen to some podcasts, and then like I don't know, I go through so many phases. Like every once in a while, I'll be almost to a gig, and I'm like, I should maybe like jack myself up a little bit, and like maybe lately it's been Audio Slave.
Yeah.
I've been on this like Chris Cornell kick, and so it's like,
Mm.
oh, I should probably get out of podcast mode now, and I should throw on something that's going to get me a little fired up because I'm about to have to go like do all the stuff that I have to do. And get out of driving mode.
Yeah. Yeah, that's tricky part too. So you said you're hoping to get into more like opening slots maybe this year or next year when you guys are done cooking over there. Um
Yeah,
we opened, what was it, last year or the year before, for Oliver Anthony? Was it Whitey Morgan you've got on your resume? And
we've
a bunch of other.
never, yeah, we've never opened for Whitey Morgan, which is crazy.
Oh, we should. Let's speak that into existence. That'd be a
Yeah,
perfect fit.
that's one of those things that like from okay, so I just got a notification from Facebook the other day that it's been 10 years, like on almost on the money, since like I played my first show as a songwriter. And the night before my first show, I went and I saw Cody Jinks and Whitey Morgan. And it was kind of like an existential moment for me. Like there's so much that I remember about it. Um, so many little pieces that just showed up that night. Um, but I've never opened for either of them. And I'm like, man, if there was a place that I thought that I belonged when I started writing songs, I was like, it's right there. Like with one of these guys, I want to go with them. And yeah, it's just never worked out. But that would be really cool. I think it would be a blast. Um, so yeah, let's just will it into existence. I think we can do
Yeah,
that.
I think it's done.
This
I think
is
we just said, yeah, it's pretty
it's
much,
2026. Like
yeah,
we can do anything.
that's
Yeah.
right. And I can definitely confidently say, if you are fans of Whitey Morgan and Cody Jinks, you would absolutely fall right into place with Jake Stringer music. It's been that way. But really, a lot of your songs are you've got some soft ones, you got some sweet ones, but you've got some driving song. Like when I mean driving, I mean like rhythm section driving. And
Yeah.
I feel like that's a big part of why I love Whitey Morgan. It's he's just got those driving songs that make you want to kind of kick some ass. Like I feel
It's
like
got a
when I
it's just got a groove.
mhm. I love your like timing changes too. You've got a couple of those.
Oh yeah.
Soft spot. Well, you're a drummer. You are a drummer. I don't know if "were" is a good word here, but I think
I would say
that's another.
were, but I think I think I think my brain is still I think I play guitar like a drummer. Whenever I
Yeah.
break it down, I'm like, oh, like I'm just thinking about this like it was two hands and my feet and
Mm,
um like I was never a good strummer because I was like, no, I feel like this needs to do one job, and then maybe this one we'll try these. We'll try to see if we can make all those work too. Um, but it always just stuck with me, and so I learned how to finger pick and um, but no, I definitely related to drumming, so I guess I'm still a drummer. I'm just a drummer with a guitar that should probably just have drums instead. But
I'm gonna hard disagree on that one there, Jake. Love you, bud, but
I don't know. Um,
yeah, we'd be missing a lot if you never took that transition. But didn't you live in Nashville too for a hot minute
uh,
there? Remember this
no, I
correctly?
was actually
Correct me.
I got rid of everything that I didn't need. It was kind of weird because like this one summer, like everything changed, and it was the summer of 2015, and like I had made these plans to move to Nashville. I had worked out some stuff. I had a job set up out there. I remember like I was selling pretty much everything that I didn't need. And then, so like my dad passed away on September 1st. And then I was like, oh, okay, well, I'm going to push this back a little bit because I was supposed to go at like the end of September. And I remember I got this like room basically set up to rent out, and it was like this was like 2015, and it was like $1,400 for like a basically a closet. Um, and I was going to be making $9 an hour at this job that I got, and I was like, at one point I was just like, man, is this a bad idea? Because I had a lot of things going on here as a drummer, I was like, is this a bad idea? And then, like, in probably December, I had already written a couple songs, but I hadn't been doing it for very long. A couple of my friends had like heard me play the songs, and they're like, dude, like, let's start a band. And so, like, one of my buddies that was, he was a guitar player and a songwriter, he hopped on drums. And then one of my buddies is a guitar player. He was on guitar for a minute, and then he learned how to play pedal steel, which was ridiculous. Um, and
That's
it just
nuts.
kind
Yeah,
of
that's
within
crazy.
a couple of months, we were like, okay, this is what we're doing now. Um, and so after I kind of got in that other mindset, I was like, I'm not moving. I went back a few more times, and I remember it was New Year's. I went, and Chris Stapleton and Kings of Leon were playing downtown. There was like 400 million people there, and I had like a $75 Uber back to where I was staying, and I was like, you know what? I don't know about this. Like, I think I want to go back home and just wait this out and see what happens over here. Yeah.
Yeah, well,
So
and
I
that
never actually made the move.
look where we are. Yeah, you didn't need to.
Yeah.
Look at that. I always say like Nashville's one of those things where if you have all the tools where you're at,
Yeah.
it's kind of give or take. You always will get a bonus of being around other like entrepreneurs and other people doing what you're doing, which is really inspiring.
Yeah.
But it's a great place to get tools. But if you already have them, that's even better. That's even better.
Yeah.
No point in leaving all your tools to pick up different tools.
Yeah, and there's a part of me that kind of wishes I'd just done it for a while. But at this point, I wouldn't do it, and I don't think I would still be there if I had. But it was one of those things that it probably would have been good to go do it for a while and just learn a thing or two.
Yeah. Well, you didn't need any learning. You got pretty good stuff out already, and I'm excited to hear whatever you've been cooking over there. I'm pretty stoked to hear that.
Yeah,
And plus, you're gonna be opening for Whitey Morgan because we're gonna speak that into existence.
yeah, we might as well.
I mean, you've opened for some big folks. What's I feel like Whitey's
Yeah.
a cool dude. We'll just call him up and be like, Whitey, hear us out.
Yeah.
We got we got a top dog over here.
There's this dude in Missouri that just thinks you're really cool, and he's seen you a bunch of times. He gave you a high five one time that you don't remember, but like, you should do some shows with him. He's all right. He takes showers. Pretty
Yeah.
self-sufficient guy. Doesn't ask for a lot. I'm fine with all of the colors of M&Ms. They don't have to leave any out. So, like, hit me up.
Yeah. You've been rocking it. I mean, you just had 10 years. So, that seems to be the magic number that everybody talks about. 10 years, unless you're Ward Davis. I think he's on year 15 in his 10-year journey. Well, he's probably 25 years in, but his 10 years into Nashville or
I feel
15
like
years
if you
into
can
Nashville.
something like that. He's been at it for a long time, and he's one of those
A
guys that
very
like
long time.
he should be the absolute like top dog everywhere he goes because he's so good and he's so awesome. He's such a cool
So
dude.
good.
And he's fought hard for it. I mean, he's had a lot of big wins, but he's fought hard. And I respect that. Like, I've always like really had a lot of respect for the guys that just got in. There's so many bands that, like, you look at like bands like American Aquarium, like, that have just absolutely torn it up for like 20 years. And I have a lot of respect for those people, but you know, it's it's hard. I feel like if you can do it for 10 years, you can do it for as long as you need to make something happen.
You can do
At
it for
least I'm trying to
eternity.
tell myself that. So yeah,
Hey, I
I don't
believe
ever
it.
want to stop, but uh, I don't ever want to stop. But one of these days, I'm gonna get tired of probably trying to sell myself. Even though I did just sell myself to Whitey Morgan, kind of. So yeah, we're still working on it.
Hook, line, and sinker is out there, you know?
Yeah.
Your move, Whitey. Your move. Well, I love that. So I feel like what I meant to, I wanted to circle back to is it's always so, that come up is hard, right? And there's always so many, there's like navigational beacons along the way of, first of all, homies that you kind of connect with and your journeys sometimes run parallel, or like someone pops off and then pops back in. And then venues. There's those venues that I kind of call it like the Americana trails, where it's kind of usually smaller venues. They don't always even charge ticket sales, and they just look out for a lot of people in the genre that we're in, and they've kind of become their own little gems of great artists. Are there any in the Ozarks or in your travels? I know we already talked about Bucks and Tipsy Taco, but are there any other ones that you think are like two more, or that might be what you would consider like gems or venues that kind of helped you get to moving?
There's a lot of them that don't even exist anymore.
Wow.
There was you know, there was a place in Springfield, Missouri called the Outland, and it was like 3 bars in basically one big downtown building. There was the Outland, they had a place called the High Life, and then it was something else, and then they had the Outland Ballroom, which was upstairs, and it was the big venue. Which is also where I saw like Whitey and Cody and a lot of people. I used to just spend my whole life there. And they put us on a lot of shows and gave us a lot of opportunities. And it was just one of my favorite places in the world. If I could go back there and play a show there tomorrow, I would do it over and over again, because it's just it was just a magical place to me. But there's a lot of others. There's you know, like this place up in Iowa, the Talk Shop Lounge, that put us up many times. One of the first places we ever played outside of like our home state law office in Yorkville, Illinois. One of the things that makes so many of those venues is the people that run them, the people that you interact with. And there's like, you know, they're all their own version of the coolest person you could possibly have at this place. And those make a really big difference, I feel like. And they're very like they're not making any money off of this. They're doing it because they love it. Nobody's really making any money at that in this scene until they're breaking out into way bigger stuff. So the venues, you know, they've got to love it just as much as the guys in the bands love it. And so when you find those places, you want to go there as much as possible, just because it feels like home.
Oh, well
But there is,
said. Yeah.
you asked about the Ozarks. There is also like this little place called Bank Tavern. It's 5 minutes from my house, and I'll go out there and play a show about once every 3 months, something like that. And it's just it's in a town that, honestly, I grew up in the next town over, and I was always like, that place sucks, dude. Like that town sucks. And then I grew up and I was like, man, I really love this place, and all these people are really cool, and maybe I want to live there. I don't know. So it's kind of one of those fun.
Yeah, I feel like those venues are kind of the unsung heroes of our, not just this genre, but just of like almost the whole music industry, because you know there's a lot of kind of come ups now on social media, or ways you can get yourselves out there without Stomp in the Streets, but Stomp in the Streets is still definitely a huge way that a lot of people get started and kind of get their feet wet and then kind of learn themselves, learn how to balance things, learn how to hire a band, learn how to do business. There's so much to it. And I really feel like those small venues that take chances on people that are coming up and then continuing to support them are just like the backbone of so many artists. Like you always
They
hear
really
about like
are.
that player, that guitar player that stuck with them, or that manager, or that, spouse or partner. But like those venues, man, if they weren't there, I feel like that we gotta make a list somewhere and just spread the word, all our little gems. Make sure people are
Yeah.
checking support up too.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of people realize like how I think they kind of assume that the venue is just like, oh well, they make a bunch of money.
Right. Yeah.
They don't. Like, most of them, if they didn't have if they didn't have something else going on, they'd be struggling. I mean, I know so many venue owners and bar owners in this business that work day jobs, or they run other businesses, or they have something else that often takes care of the music business. And I think people just assume that it's all this big, like, oh well, look at all this money that these people are making. There's a lot of music, or a lot of money in it. But truthfully, there's a lot of people that are doing it out of love. Um, and that's even there's people that are booking their friends' bands out of love, not, for money. There's people that are providing their art and everything. And then we as musicians, we also like the amount of time people always say like, "Oh, you can't play for exposure," and I'm like, "Bullshit, dude. You have to. That's how it works. Like, if you're a cover band,
Mhm.
yeah, don't play for exposure. Like that's stupid. Play for money. But if you're an artist, like you don't just get to start selling your paintings for millions of dollars. Like you gotta give some away.
Mhm.
You gotta really put in that labor of love side of things. And when you've got venues that'll do it, that's such a big deal. Like they make it work for us because we'd probably just have to stay home if it weren't for a lot of those places.
Mhm. Yeah, for sure. Do you uh do you feel like you have like the dive bars versus like ticketed venues versus restaurants versus festivals versus opening slots at actual music venues? What's your like if you could build like a perfect year of shows that you get to hand pick and curate, how much of them are like dives and how much of them are like festivals? What's your favorite?
It would have to be a pretty even, like, so when it comes to solo shows, I'd want to do some solo shows that are in listening rooms that, you don't have skee ball and pool tables. You have, a bunch of chairs and people who want to come to the show. And because I love telling stories, I love making up stories, and I love doing it on the spot and just trying to entertain myself and hope that people are also entertained. But it's harder to do that in a big loud room, and you got a band and everything. So I love being able to do that. But when you're telling those stories and there's like four people over here listening and three over here, and then a room full of people eating pizza, it's like, oh man, this is fun. But also like, it doesn't hit the same. So if you got a room full of
Yeah.
chairs and you can just sit there and you can talk all the shit you want, and you can say whatever and play your songs, give people the stories, make them up. So there's got to be some of those. And then in the summertime, like let's do some festivals with the band because those are some of the most fun. And also in between the festivals, um, I want to play every single dive bar that we can find, because those are where you actually like meet people and like you get that experience of um, like that closer experience of really getting to talk to people and feel a little bit more on the same level. Whereas the festivals, that can kind of take it out of you. You got to go up there and you got to just burn it down for 45 minutes to an hour,
Yeah.
and then you don't you don't always want to go walk around and all that. I always have, but um, sometimes you don't hit on the same level as you do in the dive bars because
Yeah.
just meet some cool people there.
Yeah, dive bars do have all the cool people. They got all the characters for sure.
They really do.
Do you want to share some of your music with us? Do you want to share a song? Are we gonna hear are we gonna hear well, look what we got right there.
I got a guitar. I didn't plan this at all. I didn't think we were doing this kind of thing. Let's see if I got a pick.
Give us your listening room vibes.
Okay, I'm gonna try. I might have to dump everything out of my pockets real quick.
No problem.
Jeez.
You know what? I will say while you're tuning and digging for a pick, I want to first of all, you're welcome, but I did put the chords to one of your songs on Ultimate Guitar, but I definitely put the wrong chords in. So I'm just saying
I probably played the wrong chords at some point.
I'm just saying maybe give us the rest of them if you want to spend some time someday. I will say though, that's like kind of a misconception about Nashville is everybody feels like you have to go to Nashville and you're only allowed to play certain songs. And that's totally not true. It's just if you have a band with you that you don't play with a lot, it's a lot easier to play an easy song that everybody knows than it is to try to pull some stuff that not everybody's heard before. But you can play whatever you want. So your music has been all over Broadway, thanks to me. But I'm sure there's others out there too. True Dog's down there. We play quite a bit. The Ultimate Guitar stuff does help us out there. Help people cover your stuff.
And also, like, you were sending me snaps when you were on the road doing the tour manager gig of like my songs playing over the house.
Oh yeah, I did
stuff like that.
Playlist. I did. It's guerrilla warfare. I do that all over the place. Anytime anybody's running their venue music off of Spotify, your girl's in there like swimwear. I'm like, follow.
Mm-hmm.
All my homies.
I'm gonna slap some QR codes.
'Cause you bring it.
Subs.
There you go.
Do you? What song was it that you were putting on Guitar Pro?
I put the don't let the fire die, darling. I'll be home by morning. I'll be blazing a trail.
I wish I could tell you the chords, but I don't even know what they're called.
Well, are you gonna play as a new one or OG? Give us a taste of what you're cooking. Selfishly, I want a new song, but you do you. This is your moment, Jake.
Let me make sure this is in tune. I'll play a new song. This one's gonna be coming out pretty soon. Here we go.
Oh yeah, over there now.
I feel like you probably got a tuner out right now and you're checking me like, he's a little sharp on that beast.
I don't know, Jake. I don't know either.
It's like the sound guy saying, "You got enough of that in your monitor?" And you're like, "Can I get a little bit more?" And he doesn't even touch it. And you're like, "Yeah, okay, that's good." Okay. This song is called San Andreas Sand. And it's basically about just packing up your stuff and heading to the desert without telling anybody. This thing's out of tune. And I just tuned it. I'm sorry.
Ain't no thing.
These guitars have been sitting in front of heaters for a while.
I think that's like.
Okay, we're gonna make it through this now. I'm sorry. That'll work. Been having lots of dreams about California. Not sure what it means, but I'm better on you. If you wake up and I'm gone, don't think you did anything wrong. Boots don't sit by the same bed too long. Been saving up, buy me a Cadillac. Palomino gold or piano black. Hang one foot outside the window, point the horns towards Indio. I get there, I'll figure out where to go. I've been having lots of dreams about California. Not sure what it means, but I'm better on you. If you wake up and I'm gone, don't think you did anything wrong. Boots don't sit by the same bed too long. If you come looking for me, baby, you won't find me. But you might find it ain't that bad a place to be. If the walls begin to fall, I hope you know it ain't my fault. San Andreas sand gets a little shaky. I've been having lots of dreams about California. Not sure what it means, but I'm better on you. If you wake up and I'm gone, don't think you did anything wrong. Dudes don't sit by the same bed too long. Dudes don't sit by the same bed too. Dudes don't sit by the same bed too long.
Well,
Songs
heck,
about boots
yeah.
that don't
Oh
sit.
yeah, just a simple song about boots.
It's just about boots.
Yeah, no need to read into that one, huh?
No, I wouldn't if I were you.
Just a good old boot song. Just another boot song.
No,
Sounds great,
I
Jake. That's a
realize.
big.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I've kind of had this tendency to write songs about either taking off to the desert or being in the desert and being totally screwed. There's a lot of something. There's probably some kind of trauma that I'm dealing with that leads me to
What
want to
happened to
take
you in the
off.
desert?
I don't know. I also I have a ton of cacti, so clearly there's like some sort of obsession with the desert. Yeah, I don't know. I like desert songs. I like songs that sound like you're lost in the desert. I have a whole playlist on Spotify of songs that I made or that I found that make me feel like I'm in the desert. Like walking, like my horse died and I'm walking and for some reason I can see the northern lights probably.
Nice.
But yeah. And there's aliens for sure.
Dude, there's
So
definitely
I try to
aliens.
create I try to create uh try to create these vibes for myself. And if anybody else likes them, I'm for that too.
Yeah. That's the money right there. Everyone's like,
Maybe.
how do you, what's the, what's your best advice for an artist? I'm always like, dude, the best advice is just you can't, you can't, you can't have anybody else like creating anything. It's got to be you. Like, it has to be. It
Yeah.
has to be
Yeah,
you. And then just you the best you can. And then that's the magic. But that's the hard
there
part.
yeah, and it's hard to stick with that sometimes. It's hard to feel like, oh no, it's easy to feel like nobody wants to know what I have to say. Um or, so many people I talk to, they're like, "Man, I want to write a song about this, but I want to make it, kind of marketable or make it
Yeah.
into something." And I'm like, honestly, I could tell you what I wanted my music to sound like when I started writing songs, but I can also tell you that what I hear when I listen back to it is just what happened. It's not what I was going for exactly. Um, I had a whole idea in my head. Pretty much every time I write a song, I'm like, I have a whole idea of where I want this to go. And then trying to force it in that direction never works. And then you let the guys in the band get in on it and come up with parts. And you kind of, sometimes you're like, this is what I'm thinking, like vibe wise. And then you end up with something totally different. And usually you're like, you know what? Like, this is cool. It may not be, um, what I thought I was going to end up with, but this is what it is. This is what the song is. Um, and I think you have to accept that. You have to let the song be what it is. You have to let the sound be what it is. And if you force it, like, you may be able to pull it off for a while, but I don't know. It just, it,
It's true. I feel like
I don't know.
songs just kind of, they're like their own beings. We're just kind of the vehicles.
Yeah.
And, like they just make themselves. We're just here. We're just here for it.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think that I can honestly take full credit for any song that I've ever written because, it's almost like it all came from somewhere. Like, I'll be driving and
Yeah.
something will hit me or whatever, and it's like I didn't just come up with that. Like, that was like somebody threw a dart and it just hit me in the side of the head, and it's like, oh, hey, I've got a line. And so it's hard to really like take full credit for that whenever sometimes it just feels like it was the universe. People talk about the muse. Um, and I believe it because if I sit down and I just try to make myself write something, I can write, but it's not going to be like anything usually that I'm like, oh, this is awesome. But it's those ones that it's just like, pew, and it hits you, and then you're like, oh, okay, I got to stop what I'm doing and work on this. Yeah, I feel like you've got to accept that. You've got to let the muse into your heart
Mm-hmm.
and then it will bring you gifts. It's like befriending a crow. Leave it some food and it'll bring you back shiny stuff.
Yeah.
Just open
And then
up
you
your
got to
heart to the
share it.
muse.
You got to share it with your band because I think that's a good point that you brought up too. You bring it to what'd you say? You bring it to the band and they bite onto it or whatever. But it's true. The
Yeah,
people that play, unless you happen to be someone that plays, everything exactly the way, you want to, usually you have players that you bring in at a certain point in
yeah,
the project or in the song and it's gonna just it's like another level of and then it grew again, and then it
yeah,
but you got to give up like a little bit of it to and give it to someone else to like do that. And that's a little
Yeah.
challenging, but you got the right folks with you, you just can't wait to give it to them. You know, like
Yeah, that's the thing is like when you're playing with people that you trust to take your idea and turn it into, way more than you were expecting to. Um, yeah, you gotta lean into that and let it be what it is. And to be honest, like I know there's those guys out there that are just absolutely brilliant and can just compose a song. I can't compose a song. Like I can put drums to it. I can put chords to it and find a rhythm and sometimes make up a melody. Sometimes I feel like I don't even know what a melody is. Um, but there are those people out there that can really like build an entire song, but I'm not one of them, and I don't really care to be one of them. I like the story side of it and the vibe, and if I can get those out there enough for everybody else to hop on and be like,
Mhm.
"All right, since you only know 4 chords, Jake, here's how we make this interesting." Um, and you need that. And you need like honestly, I have so many different musicians that I've played with and recorded with and worked with that they all have like they have their lanes. And it's like sometimes you just have to be like, I want to call this guy about this song
Yeah.
because I know where they're gonna go with it. And also like even down to like harmonies and stuff. Like um you you find those people and then you know exactly like who's going to take this song and run with it. And it's a lot of fun, and sometimes it's fun to let strangers do it. I've done that. I've recorded a song in the studio with a bunch of people that had never heard the song and just gone with it, and it's been a blast every single time. So yeah, you can't
Yeah,
you
that's
can't like you can't put yourself in a spot where you're like, I have to do this every single time. I have to follow these rules. Like those rules don't exist. You're just gotta let it be what it is. Let it breathe.
yeah, I think that's a big part of like just being a musician is that that's probably a lot of why most I'll go ahead and say most of us just don't really we're not too keen on rules, you know,
No,
and regulations and like
no.
exact times or things. And it's kind of the blessing and the curse of being creative, but that's kind of how you allow things to grow, and it's a process to learn yourself to even like have the confidence to let something go or to share it and know that it'll be better if you let go just a little bit, and if you blur this line over here, it'll give something an
Yeah.
opportunity to grow more. What do you think the biggest thing you've learned, because you said you're on year 10, what do you think one of the biggest things you've learned when it comes to recording? Like if you could talk to 10 years ago Jake and give him like a couple of pieces of advice, what would you tell him? Because I feel like that's such a huge part, and I love that we're talking about just the creative process.
Hmm.
Because it's like it's the foundation to everything else you do. You can understand the business part, but if you don't have that creativity to start with, that's kind of the spark that creates everything else.
One of the biggest pieces of advice that I would give somebody is that don't allow yourself to be the judge of your own vocal tracks. Um, Trust somebody else with that because if you like your vocal tracks, you're probably a psychopath.
Yeah.
If you listen to them and you're like, "This is horrible. I hate my own voice." Don't let that get in your head, and don't let that be like a thing that makes you like, "Oh, I want to redo this part. I want to redo this part." Trust the people around you, and like don't get hung up on that because it's never going to be perfect no matter how hard you try. And just let it be what it is, and just you know just enjoy it and have fun. Like record loud guitar amps, record drums that sound like they're like made out of trash cans. Do whatever you want just to try to find the fun stuff. Because people like interesting things. They don't like perfect it doesn't catch their attention. It might catch their attention for a little bit, but do weird stuff in the studio. Don't be afraid, and also don't be the judge of your own vocal tracks.
Solid advice. Been there a time or two.
Yeah, it
Or the
hurts. It
worst is when
hurts
you
really
go to do
bad.
harmonies over yourself. You ever try to do harmonies over yourself, and you're like, "What is that?
Yeah.
What
You know
is
what's
happening?"
weird? Like,
Who sang that?
yeah, I've done
Who's
that, and I'm like, wow, dude. Like every time I'm like, maybe you should have just done the harmony as the lead vocal, because whatever you're singing lead on now, it just sounds boring. Like, who's this low voiced guy that, wants to sing like this whenever you've got this other guy, this other wolf on your shoulder that's like, oh, I can sing high. Um, yeah. Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
know. It is really
solid
weird
advice.
singing harmonies for yourself, though. It's like, is this okay?
And that
Are we
muscle
okay with
memory
this?
gets you. You're like, "Why am I not even this is not I don't even I've forgotten everything. Forgot everything I was ever learned."
Yeah, and there's like, like blood harmonies where it's
Yeah.
like for example, there's like Nicholas Jamerson has some YouTube videos with his brother. And I mean, if you want to cry, listen to those two dudes sing together. Um, it's incredible. And then you think to yourself, well, I can do my own harmonies because it's a blood harmony. It's the same thing. Uh,
Exactly the
no,
same.
no, it's not. But it does work. Like it works. I
Yeah.
don't know. It's a touchy one.
Yeah, studios are tricky, but I think that's well said, is just to kind of release the reins on certain things. It's almost like paint and trim. Like, you ever paint, trim,
Yeah,
and then you realize how shitty everything else looks? Or, like, it
yeah.
just never ends, or you realize you, like, kinda globbed this one spot, and you're just gonna you gotta
Hmm.
just let it go. And you said, like,
Yeah,
just enjoy it. Let it go and
yeah.
enjoy it.
Nobody's gonna see that little run in the paint. Like
Yeah,
nobody. If they do, it's because they're another trim painter, and that's just like if you're in the studio, the only people that are gonna notice that there's like a weird kind of thing here, they're either like studio guys or other musicians, and you don't care about their
yeah,
opinion either because they're broke. They're not buying your music. They're broke
yeah.
like you. So don't worry about them. Like they'll be fine. But
Yeah, and have you ever, like, been around, like, your heroes or people you looked up to, and you ask them about this track, and they'll just mention, they'll be like, "Ah, they messed up this whatever part in the solo," or whatever. They know exactly where the mistakes are, but these nobody else cares or,
nobody
notices those
does.
things.
Nobody does. And honestly, I used to love hearing that stuff. Like I was a really big like Jack White, Black Keys, um,
Mhm.
a big fan of like blues rock and stuff like that, where like those little things are cool. You hear like a little like kind of off note or something. It's like for
Yeah.
me, I hear that stuff and I'm like, there's a human that did that. And I
Yeah.
appreciate that. Like I don't really care about perfect. Like I want to hear some little stuff
Mhm.
that may not be exactly what it was supposed to be. I think that stuff's cool.
And probably it's just gonna continue to be, hopefully, something that people continue to grab onto in the world of AI and stuff. So those imperfections just hopefully hold, maybe they'll be our saving grace out here in the music industry. Us screwing stuff up
Yeah.
like we
Yeah, I
do
hope so.
is
We
maybe
got to do
some
something. And if it's just like screwing up here and there, I'm for it because I like screwing up a little bit.
also for it. Yeah, that'd be great
Yeah.
if we could
Yeah,
make that.
there's got to be something. We got to show people that we're humans when we're recording now
Yeah.
because there's not humans that are doing it. So,
Yeah, it's crazy times. Crazy times. Well,
yeah.
you're one of the real ones for sure. And
So are
I'm really
you.
thanks. I'm thankful for the time we had to kind of catch up here. We should do it more often, Jake. Call me up. Be a homie.
Absolutely. Thank you for
I'm
having me.
excited. I'm excited to see we can totally do this again, but I'm excited to hear some new music. I love how you've just cloaked it all in mystery. So sometime Jake's got new music coming out. It might be a single, might be EP. You never know. He might throw it together in an album. We don't know. All we know for sure is he's going to keep on trucking because Year 10 ain't slowing you down, is it, any Jake over there?
No, I'm gonna keep on trucking. And
Perfect.
you know, just know that the mystery might just be because I don't know either.
That's the smoke and mirrors. That's the whole smoke and mirrors, guys. We don't know either.
Yeah.
Is really the answer.
We don't have a clue. And we're probably better off not knowing.
Yeah, let's all just not know together.
What if we all just stopped? Like, what if we all just stopped?
Yeah. I think you're onto something there.
Yeah.
Hey, that's what you're kind of doing. I'm kind of doing. We're almost taking some R&R time to be creative. I've been able to get this kind of stuff off the ground. You've been able to lay a bunch of music down. There's there's some strength in the pauses out there for sure.
Yeah. I'm back in the town that I grew up in, and I'm like,
same.
At home.
I'm in my childhood bedroom right now.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
So am I. Like, well, sort of. Like, I grew up across the street and then like moved here when I was like 19, and it's these old downtown buildings, and I've just been spending the winter trying to build a bunch of stuff out here, and
I love it.
But it's fun. I always thought growing up, I was like, man, I don't want to go back there. And then whenever I just like ran myself dry of everything I had in the outside world, I was like, you know what sounds good is home, and not trying to impress anybody, and not trying to sell myself and do all this stuff. I kind of just want to go home and like cut some 2x4s.
Yeah.
And it's been nice. So if you haven't cut any 2x4s yet or split firewood, do it, because it'll make home feel even better.
There we go. I love it. Yeah, there's something about home, man. Maybe there's an album waiting for us right there.
Maybe.
Whole story itself.
Maybe.
After you get back from the desert, you know?
Yeah, well, you know.
Maybe you're going to open up for Whitey in the desert. You guys are both going to be in the desert. In the Suburban.
That sounds
You're lock your keys in the car, and this is all going to be full circle. Call me when you lock your keys in the car in the desert after opening for wood.
Yeah, I gotta air up both the back tires on it, so I'll probably lock my keys in it in the process.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. Well, Soul Gravy always ends on one last strange question, but before I ask you that, are there any parting words that you have for us, or any shows or anything you'd like to shout out? Any last things you want to leave us with while we wrap up this hour over here?
I mean, first of all, thank you for being who you are. I've known you for a long time, and you rule, and I felt like we talked about me the whole time, but
that's the point.
I just didn't have any good questions for you. I'm like not a very good conversationalist, so
this is how an interview works.
All the questions. Yeah, well, you know. I never thought I was going to be interviewed about anything. Maybe the news. But yeah, first of all, thank you just for being who you are, and being a great friend. And what was the other question? Anything else? Any parting words?
Yeah, any shows, anything you want to drop on us? Any news? Any last moments? Final words?
Man, this is a hard question. This isn't even a hard one, is it? Yeah, I've got February 14th with Dano Simpson at Bucks. One of the coolest dudes in the world.
You guys are doing Valentine's Day with Dano?
Valentine's Day, yeah.
That's the best. Oh, man, that's going to be a good show.
It was really a good thing for my heart. So, yeah, that's a real Valentine's Day. You know, chocolate, whatever. No, play shows with your friends at cool places.
Amen.
And yeah, I've got a show coming up with Joe Stam at Southbound in Springfield, Missouri. I can't remember the date on that one. I think it's
nice.
March
That'll be fun too.
sometime in March. He's a really cool dude. And we always have a lot of fun. So that'll be great. I'm just trying to play shows with friends this year and take my band out and have some fun. So we'll be
I love it.
announcing more stuff as it comes, as well as new songs. And maybe we know what we're doing, and maybe we don't.
Only one way to find out. You got to follow the journey of Jake Stringer. If you're just finding him, you're extremely late. You're very late, but not too late.
Yeah,
So
10
come
years.
on.
Come on. 10 years. Where you guys been?
I know. We've had some good times, and I've only seen a couple of them. I can only imagine if we put us all together. Maybe we better not tell too many stories, you know? Maybe we can just... I like your mystery method.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I miss, like, man, if I could get, like, us and, like, Isaac Rudd and Cody Lee
Ooh,
and
Isaac,
Chris
Cody.
Stewart and Forrest and all these people in the same room, like Cody Christian. I get to see all these people, like, you know, here and there. But to have us all in the same field in, like, South Missouri,
Yeah.
for like 3 days again, like, that'd be fun. So
Yeah.
hopefully one of these days.
That's what dreams are made of right there. I'm with you. I'll be wishing that into existence too. Hopefully we can make that all happen.
I'll make some phone calls.
We're all still at it, so we're all still insane. So, you know, nothing's...
Yeah. Yeah, that's just one more crazy thing.
Yeah, why can't we do that? Let's do it. All right, Jake, well, I'm going to ask you the famous Texas to Tennessee question. All right, you ready?
Okay. Yep.
Your favorite of all time Hostess cake or treat? Hostess, we'll call it a treat. What's your favorite Hostess treat?
Does it have to be Hostess or can it be Little Debbie?
It's got to be Hostess. Oh, no, it is Hostess. Little Debbie. I asked the wrong question. I think it is Little Debbie. It is Little Debbie. Way to go. See, you fixed me. Thanks, Jake.
Okay. This is a good question for me because I've been having lots of these lately. And usually about midnight. So I'm gonna go with, if we're doing Little Debbie's, I'm pretty sure zebra cakes are
classic.
That's gonna be okay. So there's this thing, like, you put them in the fridge and you take a bite and they have those little chocolate chips on the top, and those chocolate chips get hard and crunchy. And you take a bite and you got this, like, soft zebra cake, and then you bite down on the chocolate chips and it crunches. And that's the closest I can get to cracking open a Dr. Pepper, as far as happiness goes. So I think that's the one.
Do you match your Dr. Pepper with the zebra cake, or are we doing too many treats at once at that point?
No. I try to separate them because that's...
Yeah, we've gone too far.
Yeah,
okay, yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah, you don't want to do that. Yeah, keep them separate.
Respect that. Well, thanks again for coming and hanging out with me, and for being...
Absolutely.
You're my first solo person to be interviewing on this podcast. So thank you very much, Jake.
Awesome.
Always a pleasure.
Awesome. Well, thank you for making it fun.
See you guys on the road this year, and maybe in the desert. Yeah. Maybe we'll be out there.
Yeah.
But all right. Let's go. You guys take care. Thanks again for hanging out with us over here.
We'll see you later. Thank you.
Bye.